Hey, welcome to the first episode of my new Color Suite build series. And this first episode is quite an interesting start because I'm no longer in my old suite. I'm not in the new suite because, well, not yet built. I'm actually in the basement of my dad's house. So yeah, in the middle of all of my things, and I've set up a makeshift studio, so that's what we're working with. And to kick this series off, I would like to do the only thing I can do, which is show you the plans of the new place, because we have had to move out of the old place. That's hence why I'm recording it here. And we have yet to be able to move into the new place, which will happen in a week or two. So the only thing I can do is show you the plans which I have made in Fusion 360, my 3D modeling program of choice. And yeah, I have my MacBook here, loaded up with Fusion 360. Let's hope this works out. So yeah, essentially, I have 3D modeled the whole apartment. It's a 2-story apartment where we're moving, and on the first story, one of the former bedrooms will be converted into the color grading suite. And I'm not going to show you the rest of the apartment, but this is the color grading suite. So yes, it's a relatively small room, and I want to build it in a way where I can be with clients in there. With clients, that generally are, well, let's say 3 different layouts that you can do. There's the one that I had in my previous place. If you haven't seen that video, then hit that card. Essentially, as a colorist, you're looking in one direction, and the client is sitting in the opposite direction. So essentially, you would have 2 separate monitors. You would have your reference monitor that you're looking at, and then the client cannot see, and then the client has their own monitor, which you can't see. And the whole point of, why not look in the same direction in parallel, even if you can't fit behind a single monitor, is, well, as a colorist, maybe you know about this, that no 2 monitors can perfectly match, but your client won't. And even if you tell them, they'll still be looking at your monitor every so often and just wondering, well, they don't match, which one should I focus on, which one is correct, or is either of them correct? So as such, it makes sense to set up the monitors in a way where if you have 2, let's call them reference monitors, or well, your reference monitor and the client's monitor, you shouldn't be able to see both at the same time. So yeah, that's the first possible layout. Then the second layout is where you and the client are looking in the same direction at the same monitor. The question is, who's in front? So the second layout is where the client is behind you, possibly raised a bit higher so they can see over your head. And then you're in front of them, and then you have the reference monitor in front of that. But in this case, what I'm going to go with, because I don't want to build some raised flooring for the client, is I am going to be standing behind the client. It isn't ideal in terms of the fact that, well, to be able to talk to you, either the client has to turn around, or you have to come and sit next to the client, which I'll be betting on. So yeah, it's a bit more difficult to communicate with the client that way, but it's what I can do, and I think it's the best option for this grading suite. So looking at it, essentially in the foreground you can see the backs of some acoustic foam that I'll be putting up, some hexagons. But in the middle of the room we have the standing desk, behind which I'll be standing looking from right to left. Behind that some storage, and then the client couch, which I promise will not be that blocky. I'm just, these 3D models are very rudimentary, just to get the dimensions correct and layout. In front of that, a small coffee table, And then the TV, which will be a reference monitor. Currently, I have been using an LG C1 55-inch, as I mentioned in the aforementioned video. But I'll probably have to use that one for the moment. But as soon as I can, I'll be buying a new one, which would be most likely an LG C4 65-inch. So a tad bit bigger. But I was floating the idea also of making something way bigger, getting something way bigger, even up to like 80 something inches, to more get the cinema feeling, especially from the client's vantage point. But I talked to some other colorists, and yeah, it just doesn't really make sense, because a cinema screen, a theater, is so vastly different just because it's projection already, and the light levels are different, all of that, so it doesn't really make sense to just try and emulate the size without doing everything else. So I'm going to go with a bit of a more standard dimension TV and then work with that. So yeah, and then there's some acoustic foam hexagons all around, and also I'll be hanging some acoustic panels from the ceiling. All of that is to get the echo down, both for listening to movies with this round setup I'll be putting up, and also for recording these YouTube videos. As far as the YouTube setup would go, because in that sense it is a 2-in-1 where I'm, well, kind of 3-in-1. I'll be grading, I'll be making YouTube videos and courses, and it'll also have to just be my day-to-day PC setup. So as such, let's look at the YouTube corner version. You're going to see a bit of the rest of the apartment in the background, but essentially the vantage point of the camera would be this diagonal. And the room itself, as it is currently, as the bedroom, it has this accent wall, this wooden accent wall, and I'll probably try and keep it at first, as it would be probably quite difficult to remove anyways. So I'll see, because it's behind me, it wouldn't affect how we perceive the reference image itself. So it might actually play in my favor as far as making YouTube videos and having a more interesting background. And then again, some acoustic foam panels to break up the background, so it isn't just two relatively, well, one solid color and one wooden grain, but add a bit more detail in the background. So that's the YouTube setup idea. And what I am not showing in this 3D model is also where the aperture light would go, or Amaran light. It would be hung the same way I had it before, ideally from the center of the room, and then it would just sit in front of me, essentially blocking the reference monitor, unless, well, for grading, I can unlock it and just push it up into the ceiling so it wouldn't be in my way. We'll have to see how it works out with the acoustic panels that I want to hang, but that's the idea at least. Alternatively, I could get a different kind of light, because now they're making a lot of these very thin light panels, LED panels, that could work as well. Especially the new Amaran one should be relatively cheap. I've seen Gerald Undone do a review on them, and some people using them in their studios, so that could be an alternative. But if I don't want to invest in new lighting, then yeah, the current softbox system I've been using should work. Because main thing is, I don't want to have to tear down and set up a light every time I want to record a YouTube video, have a Zoom call or whatnot. Let's see, is there anything else? Right, the wall color. So the walls, I am going to go to the local hardware store with a grey card. Essentially, if you think about a 24-patch Macbeth color chart, then the grey card is just the third darkest grey patch. And I'm going to take that, go to the hardware store and try and match that, or have them match it ideally as closely as possible, and then paint all the walls except the wooden accent wall that will be behind me that grey color. And that's important because the surrounding behind and around your monitor, your reference monitor, affects how you perceive the colors on the monitor. So it's important to have a neutral background, and because of the surround luminance standards, or well, at this point there are more suggestions, I think it's 5 nits of a surround, you also don't want something very bright. So yeah, something gray. I think Flanders recommends going, if they even sell a specific middle gray paint as such, they recommend using that. But I think even if it's a bit brighter, a bit darker, at the end of the day, you just have to set the bias lighting that you put around your TV or behind it, the reference monitor. You have to match that in combination with the wall color to get the correct brightness as a surround around the TV or reference monitor. So I hope to see you at the new place in 2 or 3 weeks once I actually get to start building it and take you along for the journey. I'm Gaur. See you next time.